Thank you for sharing your Friday afternoon with us here on Kababayan LA. This past week, this last few days, so many things have happened. Last Monday, we reported on, or last Wednesday, we reported on the death of a Filipino journalist and concert producer that lives here in Southern California. That's Jackie Regala Katigbak. And once again, nakikiramay po kami sa kanyang mga naulila. But also, here and as well as, more importantly, also in the Philippines, nagdadalamhati po ang Philippine show business sa pagpanaw ng isa namang napakagaling na director in the person of Celso Castillo. And this afternoon on the show, we have his son, Chris, to talk to us and, share with us memories of his father and also help us pay tribute to one of the greatest directors in the history of Philippine show business, Philippine cinema. And that's, like I said, Celso Castillo. Chris, first of all, condolences to you and to your family.
Thank you, Janelle. Appreciate it.
You were here when it happened. He passed in the Philippines. It was sudden. It wasn't expected. He died of a heart attack at a very young age of
69.
69. How was it? How did you receive the news? How did you take it?
Well, I got the call from my aunt, and I saw the call, but I was so tired. I was out that night, and it was Sunday morning, and I didn't pick up the phone. But I knew, somehow I knew that he had passed. It was very weird. And then the text came to me that my dad had passed away. But I don't know how I knew about it, but somehow I knew the phone call was going to be bad. And I didn't know what to do. So the only thing I did after that was to do what my dad loved doing best, was go to the movies. So I went to the movies, and it gave me time to think and to see what's going on. And in the movies, that's where I actually started crying in the theater. And it started to dawn on me because, I'm in the theater, I'm watching a movie, and this has been all our lives.
Do you think you knew, because there was something metaphysical going on, perhaps your connection with your dad, perhaps your relationship as father and son, that you just instinctively knew, even though it wasn't expected?
Probably. I probably am the closest to my father since I'm the firstborn, and I grew up on the set. He would pick me up from school. The driver would pick me up from school and bring me to the theater. Bring me to his film set. If not, bring me to his office, and he would give me money to go watch film. So we always had a bond. And when I went home, the bond just got stronger. I've always been like him. My mom said I'm my father's son. And she's correct about that. It's, film was the one that, bound us together.
And some of these things that you're sharing with us now, you wrote in a letter that went viral. I guess you were talking earlier about what you did when you first heard, you watched a movie, you thought of things, and then you went home and wrote the letter?
Well, after that, I went to a park to think, and my phone was just going off from texts and, Facebook messages and emails. And as I sat there in my car, I started to cry, and I knew it was time for me to write something. I always thought I was going to write something for everyone to know because I really couldn't answer everyone's messages. I'm still, right now, just starting to answer returning people's calls. So I wrote the letter for me, for my family, and for his followers to get an idea of who he was as a person, not just Celso Kid, the messiah of Philippine cinema, the enfant terrible of Philippine cinema. More as a father, as a man, who he was behind the scenes. And the legacy, I want to talk about the legacy and make sure the other filmmakers right now understood the sacrifice he did for them.
Who was he as a father, one? And number two, when you talk about the sacrifices that he did for his followers, for Philippine show business, it's actually not just his sacrifice because it's your sacrifice. I guess when it led to the disintegration of your family.
Yeah, we moved here to the States, and he did come with us. And it actually was an ultimatum to save our family. But I felt bad for him. He didn't really know what he was going to do here. He was already a filmmaker in the Philippines. So he went home, and then about 2 decades ago, we had a long talk in San Francisco, and he told me the exact reason why it broke apart. He told me that he had to make a decision between family and art, and he chose art. And from that decision came some of the greatest films, like Burlesque Queen and Pagputi na Uwak. And I never begrudged him that. I understood all that. I actually felt bad that someone had, a person had to make those kind of decisions. No one should be able to make those decisions.
Right.
To put in that place.
You didn't feel bad about it. Do your siblings, does your mom share that?
No, my mom felt bad about it. I'm sure some of my siblings felt bad about it, but I probably am the only one that really understood it.
Because you're a filmmaker as well.
Because I grew up on the set, and I knew him from the beginning as the guy that was creating things, as never having a real job, but always imagining things.
And always creating.
And always creating.
But we've heard this before, and we always hear about this. Creative people are not the easiest people to not deal with, but just to predict how they will act and how they will react to things.
No, you're absolutely right. He was a very moody guy, and I get that trait from him. So I never knew if he was mad or if he was okay to talk to him, because when he was creating, he was creating. Our house was like a jungle. We had a lot of plants, we had a lot of pets. And I asked him one time, why all these plants? And he said it was the only place he went where he had peace and quiet, and he could create. He could think in his mind.
First of all, you know what, Chris? I'm very thankful that despite what you're going through, you made the effort to come to us. I know you're due to leave for the Philippines, but then you're not just coming here making an effort, you're also talking to us about your innermost feelings, the dynamics of your family. Thank you so much. And I think with this conversation, you're also letting the followers of your dad know, and fans of Philippine cinema, you're giving a different dimension of your dad. We're going to be talking a little bit more about him and about, his legacy when we return on the show. Don't go away.